6:30 now. So what I like to do, I like to welcome everybody to the Caucus meeting of May the 24th, Garfield Heights, and there's 6:30 p.m. And Barb, would you do roll call?
Dudley,
Here.
Donahue, Nanadovich,
Oh, excuse me. Would somebody make a motion to excuse Council President Mike Manadovich from tonight's meeting?
We'll make that motion. I was going to do it after the roll call, sir.
You're gonna do that roll call? All right, go ahead, Barb.
Johnson,
Here.
Blake,
Here.
Taglerini,
Here.
Vaughn.
Tom Vaughn is here.
Is Mr. Donahue here?
Don't see him yet.
Not seeing him.
Mr. Chairman,
Hold on, I'm letting him in right now.
let's wait for him then.
Go ahead, Mike, go ahead. I admitted him, but it just says joining, so he may be having problems with Wi-Fi.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Councilman Vaughn.
at this time, I would like to excuse from tonight's caucus meeting Councilman Nanadovich.
All right, Barb, can we get a roll call?
Need a second, Mike.
Jason
Second.
Blake, second.
Thank you.
All right, Barb, can we get a
All right.
roll call? We got Councilman Vaughn made the motion, and who seconded?
I did, Mike. Jason Blake.
And Jason seconded.
Here we go. Vaughn,
Tom Vaughn votes yes.
Dudley,
Mike Dudley vote yes.
Donahue, Johnson,
Avery Johnson vote yes.
Blake,
And Blake, yes.
Taglerini.
Yes.
All right, did we ever get Councilman Donahue?
It says he's joining, but it hasn't let him in the room.
All right, Barb, we have 6 yes votes to excuse Mike Manadovich from tonight's caucus meeting. Okay. Now, as we get into caucus about tonight's legislation, first one we have is ordinance number 45-2021. Do anybody have any questions on that? All right, I do have a question on it. All right, I don't know whether this goes to, well, it would probably go to you, Mayor, and probably the law department. On ordinance 45-2021, I would like to amend this because on the first line to the second line, it mentions this again, to do all things necessary to participate in Ohio Public Works Commission. And what I like to amend it to is to read the mayor to participate in Ohio Public Works Commission, because as I stated before, I didn't like that part where it says all things necessary, because I feel as though if we say all things necessary, it allows anybody to make any changes they have to do in order to make this necessary to get to where they have to go. So that language, I mentioned it to the previous mayor as well. I'm not comfortable with that language, Mayor.
This is Tim Riley. I can answer this. Mr. Dudley, that is standard language that is used all the time in ordinances in other cities here and everywhere, because when you enter an agreement like this, there are numerous documents that need to be signed, and they need to be signed at different times, you know, when the project starts, in the middle of the project and all that. And if you don't have that language, every time you do something having anything to do with this project, with the mayor has to sign something, you have to come back to council. and it would actually impede the project. It would be impossible to get the project done. So this is standard language that's put in there, and he can only sign documents that are described specifically in this, this headline. I mean, in this ordinance. Do you know what I'm saying? Any documents necessary to participate in the Ohio Public Works Grant.
It just maybe my memory is a little different. It's just that when I tried to recollect on this, Tim, and I just don't remember this process. And when I asked about it before, it wasn't explained to me like that. And I said I was uncomfortable with it because I can't remember the language being like that back in council previously when we going back to maybe 2010, 2009 and stuff. I remember emergencies, but I don't remember the language ever being worded to do all things necessary. If you can find something and look back on something while we are going through the process, I'm more than comfortable, but I just don't remember that language back then. And I said that when even Mayor Kalova was here, I brought that up and nobody told me then that that was regular language because it may be in some cities, but I don't believe it's in all cities.
Hello, am I allowed in the meeting?
You're in, Barb.
Am I in the meeting? Thank you. Tim, I'd like to expand on this. Okay. When Dave Kroc and Kroc Esser and OHM, when there is a major road project, there are several pieces of legislation that comes to council. The first one is the one that you're looking in front of you to do all things necessary to apply for an application to the Ohio Public Works for a grant. That's the first piece of legislation. That wording has been the same in all our road projects, multi-street, Midwest, Canal Road, any other road project that we have done. The second piece of legislation that comes to council is the OHM proposal for that particular road project. It allows the finance director to pay up to that proposal and no further. If it goes further than that, then I am required to come back to council and ask for a change order, which we just recently did on a project. My memory doesn't serve me right on the project, but was it about $63,000? Oh, it was the Broadway Road project. So without that second piece of legislation, I could not pay Dave Kroc above the original proposal. In this one, in the one that you have in front of you, there was an ordinance that was passed last year to go for grant funding. This grant funding was not available to us. So I contacted the law director and I said, does that legislation allow the finance director or the mayor to enter into a loan agreement? And the law director said no. So in this case, we're coming back to council and asking for the loan funds, which is a 30-year loan, 0% interest, and we'll move forward from there. But this is the same legislation that was presented to you back when we went for the grant application. The third thing that happens in any road project is once the bidding process is done, it goes to the Board of Control. If any change orders are on the construction side, it goes back to the Board of Control. So there are multiple steps that we go through in order to get a road project done. When we have grant OPWC money, first of all, we sign up for the grant money. Somewhere, if we're allowed to get the grant money and we accept it, at that point in April or May, because the project will begin in July, which is the fiscal year for OPWC, then the mayor goes ahead and he signs the paperwork so we can send the money, so we can send it back. If we have to come back to council, we cannot sign that document and we'll hold up the beginning of the construction project, which is to begin on July 1st of every fiscal year. So this legislation, this wording has been there since Dave Kroc began in 2010.
Okay, now I'm going to say that you said the wording has been there since 2010. What prohibits us from having additional funds? I think you mentioned that somebody had to be paid additional money, that the additional money will be paid. how do we know that there's additional money to be paid, and what is the limit of the additional money can be paid through all things necessary? That's the only question I got, Barb. You know, the rest of the
The
stuff.
additional money that can only be paid is through a change order legislation to OHM or a change order back to council, which is what we're asking for this evening, which is a loan. And the only other thing is a change order on the construction side. Once the contract is approved by the Board of Control, it has to go back to the Board of Control for any change order on any construction project, any road project in pertaining to the construction and the contractor that it is. So there's
Okay.
multiple steps that have to be done.
Okay, I didn't mean to cut you off, Barb, because I do want to move on. But my only question was, is there a limit on the amount of money that can be approved once somebody agreed to all things necessary? Is it cut off at 50,000, 60,000, or can a person just, what is the limit?
Whatever the grant application is.
Okay, grant.
And usually that's given to you, that is usually given to you by Dave Kroc when that piece of legislation goes up, originally goes up.
Additional money, Barb. I just want to say, is there any additional money that will be allowed to have to be spent from us toward the project without us being notified? That's the only question I have, Barb.
Absolutely, absolutely not. I would not, as the finance director, let that happen.
Okay, that's the only question I have.
I'm the one that has to sign off on that check.
But I'm saying, would you be able to sign on it without us being notified?
Absolutely not.
Okay, that's all I
And
need to know.
if somebody did that, it would be not me.
Okay, all right, good enough. Okay, do anybody have any questions on 4521? Okay, next. I gotta turn this phone on. Next, going to be ordinance 46-2021. Do any members have any questions on that one? Okay, moving right along. Did Barb pull something? Did you pull something back from the nice legislation?
Yeah, 50.
Well, we move right on. I thought she had pulled something back.
Was it the 50, was it 51, 2021?
That's what I got. Okay, good enough. Appreciate that, Councilman Johnson. Ordinance 47-2021. Do anybody have any questions on that one? Okay, beautiful. Moving right along.
Councilman, before you move on, I want to see if Noreen Kuban, are you on the line?
I don't see Noreen.
Okay, because that is an ordinance that's going to have to be referred to the Ways and Means Committee because it's
Okay,
a zoning change.
So we'll put it in Ways and Means tonight. Is that what you're saying,
Yes.
Tim? All right.
Would
Mike,
you
I'll make a motion to do that. What? Michael? Dudley,
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion tonight after it's read to move that to Ways and Means. All right?
All right, thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Okay, we move into ordinance
Chairman.
48-2021. Did Noreen come?
No, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to make a point to show that Councilman Donahue is now present.
Okay. Hey, Tim, do we go back or when do we make the motion now for a time? Do we make the motion now?
It's got to be on the floor.
Excuse Donahue?
No, do it on the floor.
Okay. All right. Okay, I appreciate that, Tim. Appreciate that, Jason. All right. Ordinance 48-2021. No, we read that already. Did we read? No, 2021. Anybody has a question on that? Okay. Ordinance 49-2021. Anybody has a question on that? Moving right along. Ordinance 50-2021. Do anybody have a question on that?
Thank you.
Okay. And we said ordinance number 51-2021, that was pulled back, correct?
That is incorrect.
That's 50.
Okay, that's still out there. All right. So on
Yes,
ordinance,
the revision,
go ahead, Barb.
Mr. Dudley. The revision to 51, I believe it was the staffing of the lieutenants, the rank of lieutenants. I forgot that we increased it to 7
Okay.
last year.
Now, I got a quick question, Barb, on that. All of this is done for as their salaries is per our city charter?
Yes, Mr. Dudley.
Okay, so that's not us an increase. This is something that we'll put on the charter, so we have to abide by that for every city that borders Cleveland. We have to pay a comparable rate to our firefighters as well.
With a population of over 15,000.
15,000. Okay, sounds good, Barb. Appreciate that. Just for anybody listening, they would know. So are there any questions on 51, ordinance 51-2020? Okay, we have no questions.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
I just found something. If we can go back to ordinance 45, 2021. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th whereas down, I believe we got a typo here. The city of Cleveland share of the project would be 65% of, this looks like $3,153 to me. I think that's incorrect.
Yeah.
I believe it's 3,153,000.
That's what
It's
I'm
missing the
thinking.
0.
Yeah, it's missing a 0. Do we need to amend that, Tim, on the floor?
We just got to make sure the numbers are right. Which numbers are you talking about here? I look at the whereas 65% of 3,153,000.
Yeah, it doesn't read 3 million.
That's 3,000.
Oh, we're missing a 0.
It's missing a 0, right? That's why I'm asking. It's a
Yeah, I didn't
typo.
notice it. Yeah, go ahead and amend it on the floor. Just say, I could make an amendment to increase it from, to add a 0 to make it 3,153,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just
And then
wanted
you
to
have to
ask.
hold a vote on that, Councilman Dudley. You have to hold a vote on that then, on the amendment.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. And you'll make the motion for the amendment?
I will, Mr. Dudley.
All right. Also, Barb, do we have anything, any letters or anything sent to council?
No, Mr. Chairman, I have nothing.
I believe we have one for Millette from Garfield High School Board, liaison to council. And I believe we have one. So we will be reading that on the floor then as comments to council, whatever, letter to council. So we will read her letter on the floor.
Mr. Dudley, this is.
Oh, you here?
I'm here, and I only sent it to yourself and Mr. Blake as the school liaisons. I didn't send it to all of council.
No, I had to ask
I
that
can
question.
read
Did
it.
we have any letters? Any letters came in, and she didn't mention getting one. So I see you saying you just sent it to us. So that's good. All right. Would you like to read it on the floor, Ms. Millette, since you're here?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we've been noted that she will be reading when that letter when it comes time. All right. Do anybody have anything they like to say? Members of council.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Jason.
I will make a motion on the floor in committee reports to accept the Recreation Committee meeting minutes. So I will need a second from one of the Recreation Committee members when I do that.
Okay. I believe that it. And all other meeting minutes will be done on the floor as well, I believe. We don't have nothing that have to be done here. All right. Well, so,
Did you do the caucus minutes?
go ahead.
Actually, you approve the caucus minutes during caucus.
Okay. Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the caucus minutes from Monday, May the 10th, 2021.
I'll second that.
So I'd like to make a motion. Did somebody have to make the motion? And other than I said, I'd like for someone to make the motion. Who made the motion?
I thought you did.
Who's doing it? Go ahead, Chuck.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the caucus minutes from May 10th, 2021. Do I get a second?
Jason,
I'll second.
second.
Or Jason.
Okay. So where Councilman Donahue made a motion to accept the minutes from the caucus meeting on May the 10th, 2021, and it was seconded by Councilman Vaughn, I believe, correct?
Yes.
Councilman Blake.
Blake.
Mr. Blake seconded, Mike.
Oh, I'm getting a freeze up here.
Okay.
Oh, it's okay. You okay, Mike?
I think he froze up.
Yeah, I froze up a little bit there. Can we do the vote starting with me?
Right? Should we wait till he comes back?
Let's give him a few minutes. We've got time.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yes. Oh, he's gone.
Okay. All right. I'll close the meeting. All right. Bye. Just talked with Councilman Dudley. He's having problems with his computer. He's asked me to make a motion to close tonight's caucus. Before I do that, did any other council member have anything to say? All right, gentlemen, I'm going to
Councilman
need a
Vaughn, just to be-
motion.
Wait, Councilman Vaughn, just to be sure, was there a vote on approving the minutes? I'm sorry, I may have missed it.
There was no vote.
There was no vote. Let's do that first. All right. Barb,
Oh, you want to do it? Oh, all right. Donahue,
Yes.
Nanadovich. Oh, I'm sorry. Johnson,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Taglerini,
Yes,
Vaughn.
Vaughn votes yes. Now I would like a motion to close the caucus meeting now. Can I have someone
I'd
make
like
a
to make a
motion?
motion to close the caucus meeting.
I have a second, please.
Jason.
I would second it, please.
Frank Taglerini, second. Can I have a vote, please?
Donahue,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Taglerini,
Yes,
Vaughn.
Vaughn votes yes. Folks, we'll see you back here in 6 minutes for the regular council meeting.